Dan Willis here, and we're talking about Americollect collections and specifically how to pay Americollect collections, and so it will help and improve your credit score. Now, you only want to enter into negotiations with Americollect if your account has been validated and it's within that statute of limitations legal time window. We discussed that here in an earlier video. If you happen to miss it, we'll include a link in the description below. Now, if your account is validated and it's within that legal statute of limitations time window, our next step is to negotiate a settlement agreement directly with Americollect. There's two parts to your settlement agreement, and it's best to get this in writing. First, we need to negotiate to settle the debt for just a fraction of the total balance due. Recall from the first video, your account balance has likely been inflated with interest fees and collection fees. Often you'll be able to settle and pay debt collectors as little as 20% up to around 40% of the total balance. The exact amount will depend on a few factors, including how old the debt is and the type of debt, and with medical debt especially, there's a lot of room for negotiation. It's vital to negotiate to settle the account for much less than the total balance due. This is standard operating practice for the debt collection industry, and every debt collector should be thrilled to accept a settlement for less payment. Now, the second part of your settlement agreement, we must get Americollect to agree to stop reporting your account to all three credit bureaus in exchange for your payment. If we overlook this part, once we make payment, we'll get stuck with a paid collection on our credit report, and that's not a positive credit report item that'll rebuild your credit. With this agreement, we'll be able to remove the collection in our final step here in this video. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Now let's talk about what's called a pay for delete. We'd be remiss if we neglected to mention this incredible sounding approach to dealing with debt collectors called a pay for delete. It's where we demand Americollect first delete the collection from our credit reports, and then we'll submit payment. As amazing as this sounds, like many things, it's too good to be true. In our decade-plus years of working with folks, we've yet to encounter one person or one debt collector ever making this agreement, for many obvious reasons. Instead, we encourage our members to get debt collectors, including Americollect, to agree to stop reporting the account to all three credit bureaus in exchange for payment. This is an agreement they will make, albeit in some instances reluctantly. And one way to provide yourself with supporting evidence is to include a reference to this agreement in the memo line of a personal check, assuming you pay that way. Now let's talk about how to remove collections from your credit report, because this item is very likely damaging your credit score. And to do this, we'll need to exercise more of your consumer rights. This time, those granted by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. This federal legislation is what enables you to challenge and dispute any item on your credit reports so long as you believe it's made in error, inaccurate, or misleading. And yes, we're going to dispute the Americollect collection item. There's three ways to file your credit report dispute: online, over the phone, and by mail. Once the credit bureaus get your dispute, they first get to deem it valid or frivolous. Only on valid disputes are the credit bureaus required to investigate the item, and this is another conversation for another time and place, so make sure to visit the link in the description below to check out an article and grab a copy of your free report. Link to it in the description below, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. Once the credit bureaus get your dispute and deem it valid, they're required to investigate the item. They'll call it a reinvestigation, during which they'll contact Americollect and request they verify the account. As per your settlement agreement, Americollect won't verify the account when the credit bureaus investigate. This is the second part of your settlement agreement. As a result, and in compliance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the credit bureaus must remove the collection from your credit report. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is very clear. Every item on your credit report must be verifiable. If not, it must be removed. This is how to clear credit report errors, dings, and blemishes, and to do so legally by exercising your rights as a consumer and without just waiting 7 long, embarrassing, and expensive years. By the way, 7 years is the maximum amount of time most negative items can legally remain on your credit report. Did you catch that? 7 years is the maximum. In other words, there is no minimum amount of time any negative item must remain on your credit report. And if O.J. Simpson can get early release after serving just 9 years on a 33-year prison sentence, chances are you can get out of bad credit prison early, even without good behavior. If this medical collection is on all 3 of your credit reports, you'll need to file 3 separate credit report disputes, as in you'll need to dispute Equifax to potentially remove it from your Equifax credit report, along with an Experian dispute for your Experian credit report, and likewise with TransUnion. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. On a sidebar, due to amendments to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you can dispute a data furnisher directly today. In this case, that'd be Americollect, thus bypassing the credit bureaus. Now let's wrap this all up and listen. It's not easy dealing with debt collectors. The unfortunate truth is they don't have your best interest at heart. Many debt collectors work on a consignment basis. This is very similar to a commission sales position, as in they only get paid if you pay. Thus, they have a vested interest in squeezing money out of you. And the debt collection industry doesn't exactly have a reputation for following the rules, nor do the credit bureaus, and we all know how much our credit score impacts our day-to-day life. It virtually determines where we live, what we drive, where our kids attend school, and one of the emerging trends is for potential employers to check a job candidate's credit report before extending them a job offer. While we may want to believe some of these businesses care about us, that's a tough proposition in light of the 2017 Equifax hack. Recall that incident resulted in compromising the personal financial data of nearly half the population of our great nation, or roughly 145 million Americans? That crime was committed by the Army of China's Communist Party, CCP. These are essentially the last people in the world you'd ever want to have information about you or your family members. The communists have been responsible for some of the worst episodes of genocide in human history. Conservative estimates say communism has killed over 100 million people in just the last 100 years. Moreover, it wasn't that long ago we passed the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. This was passed promising to save the average American family $2,500 a year in health care expenses, and the results speak for themselves. In short, it virtually doubled the cost of premiums and doubled the cost of deductibles. While living with our politicians and their predictable tricks is profoundly frustrating, not to mention expensive for every American citizen, it doesn't help to resolve this issue with Americollect. and only contributes to most folks feeling as if they're living in ancient biblical days and are David going into battle with Goliath. And you're telling me all I get is this lousy slingshot and a couple of pebbles? Come on, man. It's imperative to remember every last one of these alphabet soup laws have been passed to protect you, the consumer. Not a one is passed for debt collectors or the credit bureaus, and with persistent effort, this is a solvable pain in the butt. When all is said and done, your credit score is akin to your grade point average or GPA in glory school days past. It doesn't matter if you're acing all your classes, if you're failing the art of walking, a real college course, because that one negative mark will obliterate your overall GPA. This too is true of your credit score and why it's of such profound importance to remove credit report dings, errors, and any blemishes in order to raise your credit score. We encourage our members to consider getting professional help in the form of legal, legitimate, and reputable credit repair companies, because in 2017 alone, over 10 million negative items were successfully removed from consumers' credit reports. One of the best is the Lexington Law Firm. They've helped clients successfully remove medical bills, collections, late payments, charge-offs, repossessions, student loans, and many more negative items from their credit reports. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Again, that's for a free credit report consultation, and the toll-free phone number is 1-844-517-7627. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article at our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. And of course, subscribe and join our congregation. Have a wonderful day and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.